Okay, so I'm going to give you my top picks for each of the music genres that I mentioned on the website. I'm going to also list them all in the description. So for example, if you don't know how to spell a song or band name and you want to look them up on YouTube, or if you just want, my top pick for a particular genre, you can just find it easily in the description below. So I'm going to start off with the older music first, and then I'm going to slowly move up to the more modern genres. For jazz, I chose Lennie Tristano's C minor complex. I just love this song. Jazz is an older genre, so there's so many good songs, and there's so many different kinds of jazz as well to choose from, but that's my top pick. As far as the blues is concerned, I actually chose a band that's more considered a psychedelic rock band. The band is Big Brother and the Holding Company, and their song Ball and Chain. This song has, it's very unique. It has a unique intro, a guitar solo as an intro, and in addition to that, the guitar starts and then he pauses. And there's two versions, so try to listen to both versions. For one of them, he pauses for a really long time, and it's just really unique and dramatic, and that's my favorite part of the song. For Southern music, I'm going to choose a band that's not typically a Southern band, the Rolling Stones, and their song Wild Horses. This song is it's just a really good example of a Southern style song, and it's just really pretty, and I love it. For early rock and roll, I recommend the Everly Brothers and their song All You Have to Do Is Dream. It's just such a beautiful melody, and it's the perfect example of 1950s America. For doo-wop, I chose Frankie Lymon, I'm Not a Juvenile Delinquent. I love how, his pitch is so high, and then the bass member of the band is just so low. It's just a perfect example of doo-wop music. For Motown, I'm actually going to choose kind of like a one-hit wonder. So he only has this one-hit song. Most people don't know him. His name is Lee Moses, and he has a song called Bad Girl. Just great song. For garage rock, I recommend Love, 7 and 7 Is. Now this song is great garage rock, but some people say it's the first kind of like punk song. So it's like proto-punk. It's almost punk rock, but it's really garage rock. Punk started in the late 1970s, and this came out in the late 60s, I think. So very early version of that kind of heavy, fast style of music. For psychedelic rock, I chose Jefferson Airplane's Somebody to Love. It was difficult to choose between that and White Rabbit, and both of them are just great, and also check out the videos. They're very trippy and kind of psychedelic in the background, but that's my top pick. For folk, now my favorite folk musician is Bob Dylan, of course, but I actually chose Tom Waits' Kentucky Avenue. This song is just so pretty, and the lyrics are also so beautiful, and especially the part when he's talking about the girl in the wheelchair. It makes the hair on the back of my neck stand up every time I hear that line. So great song. For funk, of course I have to choose James Brown. He's known as the godfather of funk, and my best pick is Payback. For disco, I actually chose Michael Jackson, his song Rock With You. He's known as the king of pop music, but in the 70s he was actually making disco music. So great song. For hard rock, I recommend Lynyrd Skynyrd's Freebird. Now this song, great rock song. I recommend watching the video of the live performance in the big stadium. This song is America's South. It's their anthem. It represents their culture. Like every Southerner loves this song so much, and it's just a great Southern rock band. For reggae, now you'd probably expect me to choose Bob Marley. Of course I love him, but I actually chose Toots and the Maytals' Pressure Drop. And I learned about this song from the movie The Harder They Come. in which Jimmy Cliff, the other reggae star, is an actor in it. It's a great reggae song. For pre-1982 punk, I actually chose Iggy Pop's Search and Destroy. This is actually a pretty old song. Like, I think it's maybe early 70s came out, maybe, or late 60s. So really punk started in the late 70s. So he's known as the godfather of punk. And for me, this is the best early punk song. For post-1982 punk, my favorite band is The Vindictives. This is a 90s band, and their song Left for Dead is my favorite one. For 80s music, I chose Alliance at Dawn. And you've probably never heard of them. It's a Russian band, very minor, but great 80s song. And I'm actually going to talk about that song, them again, at the end of this video. So just keep it in mind. Also, the music video for it is so good. So the keyboardist is like really has this hilarious mustache and sunglasses and hat, and that's actually his song. He wrote the song. So yeah, just check out the video for it. For pop music, I chose Daft Punk's Instant Crush, just classic pop song. For new wave, I was struggling. I was thinking Depeche Mode, but I went with Devo's Whip It. Watch the video for it too. It's just classic, the sound and the red hats. It's just typical new wave style. For old school hip hop, I went with Africa Bambaata's Planet Rock. And you know, it's interesting, early hip hop, in the beginning, they were mixing genres. So, for example, the first big hip-hop hit was Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight. And I was mixing hip-hop and disco. And this song came out a few years later, and it's mixing hip-hop and electronica. So the sample from this song is actually from the band Kraftwerk, the German electronica band. And that band has been sampled by a lot of hip-hoppers, actually, around that time. So, great song for breakdancing. Yeah, it's a classic. For contemporary R&B, this actually is not my favorite genre, but I have to admit, this is a very good song. Now, everybody knows Beyonce, but I think her best song is when she was in her first band, Destiny's Child, and the song is called Say My Name. It's just a good song. I just have to admit, it's really good. For ska, I'm going to choose the classic Operation Ivy's Take Warning. For electronica, I was struggling. Of course, I want to choose Crystal Castles. I ended up choosing Transgender. You know, I struggled. I was thinking, okay, Love and Caring, Not in Love, Kerosene, even some of the newer songs like Concrete, which has a great music video, but I ended up going with Transgender. For heavy metal, of course I love Metallica, of course I love Iron Maiden, Motley Crue, Ozzy Osbourne, Slayer, and so on. But I actually went with System of a Down's Chop Suey. That's my top pick for that genre. For alternative music, my favorite musician of all time is probably John Frusciante, and either him or Nico. But for alternative, John Frusciante and his song Enter he was the guitarist from the Chili Peppers, and he quit and then he came back. But after he quit, he put out a bunch of solo albums, and his first two are really interesting, very unique, very wild, and very raw. And I think this is probably the most raw song, and I just love it. For East Coast hip hop, definitely Wu-Tang, and definitely their song Cream. Of course, I wanna recommend Nas as well, but you know, Wu-Tang takes it. For West Coast hip hop, of course, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, but NWA. But I ended up choosing Compton's Most Wanted, Compton for Life. So the city of Compton, you know, that's, you know, known, like a lot of West Coast hip-hop comes from there, very dangerous area, lots of gang violence. Kendrick Lamar is from there, so great song for the West Coast. For Southern hip-hop, I went with Outkast's Hey Ya, just classic. I mean, you can consider that a pop song too, but they are the #1 Southern hip hop band, and so I just had to choose one of their songs, and that's my favorite of theirs. For grunge, it has to be Nirvana, of course, but I didn't go with their big hit, Smells Like Teen Spirit. I actually went with Drain You from the same album. For emo, I went with Blink-182's Atom Song, which is really beautiful song, but also really deep lyrics. It's about suicide and kind of based on a true story. So yeah, I just really love that song. For industrial, just like grunge is connected to Nirvana, industrial, I have to choose 9 Inch Nails, and my favorite song is Hurt. And yeah, I actually saw them live in Madison Square Garden in New York City in 1995, and it was amazing. So yeah, just they're the best industrial band of all time. They have to be. So for chipmunk soul, this is really the genre that RZA of Wu-Tang Clan invented. And Wu-Tang Clan has a lot of good chipmunk soul songs. But I actually went with Talib Kweli's Hold Your Hands Up High. I just really love the melody and beautiful lyrics as well. And the last song I'm going to recommend is for the genre emo rap, and I'm going to go with Young Lean's Agony. Just a beautiful song. The lyrics are so unique and so pretty. That piano is amazing in it. And I'd like to also mention another song by him. So he came out with a song called Bliss. And that song actually samples Alliances at Dawn. Do you remember the Russian 1980s music song that I recommended? I was really impressed when I saw that he sampled that song, and the song has a great video too, and it's also a duet. FKA Twigs, she's a great singer from the UK. She has a great song called Water Me, which also has a great video. She is singing with Young Lean in it, and it's just a really great song. But I actually prefer, yeah, that's a great song, but I have to choose Agony for my best pick. So, okay, those are my top picks for all the genres that I mentioned on the website, and you know, I hope you discover some, you know, new music that you, you know, you start to listen to and love.